The house was delivered on September 23rd, 2019, and they had locked us out for 5 days. We didn't enter until September 28th, 2019. Not because they wanted us to come in, because they didn't have any choice. We wanted to see what the hell they were doing. And it was obvious that something major had happened, and they were trying to fix it before we found it. So the more we found, the worse they treated us. And there were thousands of cracks in the ceiling. And these cracks spidered in every direction. This was a major crack here, and it ran in a 45-degree angle to the marriage line in between the kitchen and the dining room. And you can see what they had done to hide the cracks. Now they have done this on every ceiling in every room. And nothing matches. The only thing consistent about it is that it's inconsistent. And I don't know anybody that would be happy with this or accept it. What do you think? You think something happened there? Sure looks like it, huh? This is where the level is on the outside of the house. But it's the whole back piece, not just right here. And if I told you this was the most troubling spot, I'd be lying. So we're going to put the level up on the wall on the inside. It's pretty much the same spot. You can see the level on the outside. Now you see that it's touching the wall there. Now it gets further and further and further away. Now that's about an inch gap there. And then it starts getting closer and closer and closer. Until it touches again. And if I remove the level, you can see that the crack is back. And this crack runs all the way from the floor to the ceiling. So you don't suppose all this damage could have happened by the installer, Gary Carr Mobile Home Service, bringing the house here with the missing front right wheel and getting it stuck on the slab, do you? So we're going to shoot over to the corner by the porch, because there's definitely something going on here also. So they ran silicone in here, and they put it in with their finger, it looks like. But it's cracking. And the vinyl flooring is all bubbled up. And it goes all the way down. So we're going to move to the opposite end. Have a little look down there. Now we're at the opposite end. And you can see that this corner is separated. And this is the wall that divides the living room and the kitchen. So we're going to move into the kitchen area. As we swing around, we get to the kitchen cabinets above the microwave. And you can see that these cabinets are pulling away from the ceiling. And the state inspector tells me he doesn't give a dung what I think or what I know. This is normal. We're going to show you his video because we videotaped everything. So if Clayton Homes would have came right out in the first place and told us that there was some severe damage to the house, you know, we would have worked with them. But they tried to hide all this stuff. And we're not having it.
On October 25th, 2019, we sent Mike Barling a text message. He's the salesman that sold us the house we purchased from Clayton Homes. And in this text, this is the corner closest to the leaky window, water damage all the way up to the ceiling. This is in the office. And with the cabinets up, there's a little 4x6 gap. You can look up there. And this is what I saw. So then again on October 26, 2019, I sent him another text message where I told him I want these cabinets removed so I can get a clear picture of what's behind them. You can only put a Band-Aid so far.
So at this point, I think they know that I'm onto them. So I took the cabinets down myself. Look, this is the corner they filled with silicone, used their finger to put on, right? And it's separating. So as we go up the wall, this is with the cabinets down. This is not water damage at all. I thought it was water damage. But the wall has separated. The exterior wall has separated from the interior wall. And you can see this. And you see that huge gap up there? That's over an inch. You think they built this wall like this? I don't think so. Now this is a huge problem, and they tried to hide this. So we began looking at everything a lot closer. And I tell you, we found some problems. And as we swing around, look, there's where they painted garbage into the wall. They did that all over the place. This is the pantry door. There's another door on the other side of the pantry. The other door has all wood trim. All the trim on this one is painted white. So we're going to swing around to the HVAC door. We want you to see this door didn't shut. So they came and cut off the bottom. It was Clayton Homes repair crew. Look at it. And when they cut it off, they didn't even bother taking the door off. They just cut it with the door up. Yeah, nice. Good job. You know, it's great. And in doing that, they cut off the bottom support. So then the door was all flimsy. And instead of getting a brand new door, they decided to hang this vinyl covered sheetrock on here to make it rigid again. Then when they get to put the doorknobs back on, the screws weren't long enough. So they just crammed them in there. I don't even know what happened to that one. You know, this is how they've been fixing everything. Look at this trim, huh? Nice, huh? Yeah, that's great. Yeah. How much did that cost me? Okay, here's where they painted some more crud into the wall. So as we swing around into the kitchen, these are the cabinets next to the stove. On the left-hand side, this is where our dishes go. There's some garbage on the range hood there, but not a big deal. This is the cabinet on the right-hand side of the stove. We're supposed to put dishes in here, but we have not put any dishes in here. And here's why. There is a nail protruding through the cabinet. You can see that. And, you know, it's way back up in there. The nail protruding. And if you think that's a big problem, there is a blood spot inside the cabinet where our dishes are supposed to go. Now, this is some disturbing shit. And one of the state inspectors thought it was funny. I don't think this is funny at all. So now we're going to swing up to the marriage line in between the kitchen and the dining room, so you can see some of their quality work they got going on here. Yeah, that's nice. Good job. Yeah. They think we should let them do some more work over here. But everything they've done, they've made worse. We think they do this on purpose so you don't have them back. And you just say the hell with it. Because the constant fighting with them, you know, gets old. We're pretty tired of it. But we're not about to quit fighting now, that's for sure. See, it's been over a year, and we're just getting started. Here's where that crack was. It ran all the way over to the wall. 45-degree angle crack. I mean, it was a big one. So let's head on into the pantry. I'll give you another look at that marriage line there. Would you be happy with that? Because that looks like crap. That looks like total crap. See, the trim up there has been mitered. Wonder how come nothing else is. Now this is the opposite door of the pantry, and you can see that this has all wood trim. The other side's all white. So let's head in. You get in here, you can see that the ceilings are starting to get worse. don't know about you, but we're not very happy with this. So you get over to the electrical panel, and this panel was bent. If you put the screws in the bottom, they'd pop out of the top. If you put them in the top, they'd pop out of the bottom. So they were stripped. So they gave us a new cover. So the repair guy of Clayton Homes, I caught him spray painting these screws in his van. Now they were originally powder coated, but he thought you could just spray paint them and then cram them in there. And they stripped again. I put these screws in. They look a lot better than those. Let's head on into bedroom number 3 and see what we can find in there. Let's go. So this is bedroom number 3. You see daylight there? Well, I see daylight. And the first thing you notice that the door pinches. And you can see it's been rubbing up there. If you slam it, you can get it shut. It comes with its own built-in child lock, I guess, huh? And the ceilings in here are some of the worst. Now they are really bad in here. And over here is where the water stain was on the ceiling. And you can still see it. They just blobbed on a bunch of texture, tried to hide it. And all the walls in here are bowed. Let's see if you can see this or not. Yeah, you might not be able to tell on the camera. And inside the closet, that's where the exterior wall was separating from the interior wall. Well, they put a piece of trim up there so you really couldn't see it, but you could see it bleeding through, even on the ceiling. So, this is the back piece of the house, the one that lost the wheel and got stuck on the slab. It has some real problems. We're going to be moving to the front half of the house now. It has issues also. So now we're on the front half of the house, and this is bedroom number 2. The front half also has issues. And this ceiling is really not all that bad. But as you get to the back half of the house, where the wheels had come off the ground, there's some major damage. Now there is some blemishes on this up here. And it looks like crap. So now we're going to head into the hallway. And this is the guest bathroom. And the ceiling doesn't look too bad in here. This is above the toilet. And that's what the ceiling is supposed to look like, except for that huge crack right there. I don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom in a little. There you go. And around the vent. That looks a little shoddy. trim is popping off up there. And they didn't bother gluing this on. So now we're heading back out into the hallway. You can see a nice crack up there. Look at that crack, doesn't look all that straight, does it? So this is the front door entry, and the ceilings start to get worse. Oh, look, got some water damage up there. So we got a definite leak. This is above the front door. We got some problems. You can see it here. So I guess we're going to have to get on the roof. Like, there's a nice crack there. There's another nice crack there. You know, Gary Carr, Mobile Home Service, and that guy's an idiot. And they should not be allowed to do this to these homes. He has absolutely destroyed it. He absolutely destroyed the home. Now, this is still in the front entry, and it's the divider in between the dining area and the front entry. And you can see it's got a header sag. This is a load-bearing wall, all right? And when he put the back wheels over the edge of the concrete and they came off the ground about 3 feet and stopped and the house flexed in the middle, this is where that part is. This is in the middle, okay? So if you look at the floor, you see that big gap there? And it starts to touch. So when the back wheels come off the ground and they tried to go back and touch the ground, the house was flexing, it bent and it pushed this load-bearing wall up. But it was holding it, and the rest of the floor bent. Now this is a problem. So if we go on to the other side, you can see that beam up there and the nice crack. That beam is not touching. You see that? You see that it's about a ½ inch from there. That's some Clayton quality right there, I'll tell you. How about this nice crack here? That crack runs all the way down to the wall. And Tamara Harper from SE Homes said that this is mud buildup. Yeah, this is not mud buildup. Mud buildup did not cause that crack. When the back wheels come off the ground and the house flexed, it pushed this load-bearing wall up. I mean, that Gary Carr, you know, he's a shitty installer, to put it bluntly. So the Attorney General told us to get a hold of the district attorney and have him investigate what happened here. Because Clayton Homes, SE Homes, their attorney, and everybody else knew that he had lost the will and he damaged both halves of the house. And they're trying to cover for it because this is going to be a lot of money to fix. So here's some more quality ceiling patch job. And you see that? It's been over a year. We still got insulation blowing out of the registers. So if we swing down, there's that nice marriage line again. As we swing down, you can see that the kitchen counter, the bar area, has been bent. And we have 3 inspectors from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs Manufactured Housing Division. We have all 3 of them lying. We have 2 of them lying on video. We have the first one lying in his document, and we can prove it, and we want these guys prosecuted. Because we are not going to let them get away with this. We are not. So this is a pretty small wall right here. I say it's all about 3 feet wide, right? And if you put, here, you see the gap there? This wall is too small to have a gap like that. Something happened. Here, you can see it without the level on there. We're going to move into the master bedroom now. Now we're in the master bedroom, and the ceilings are starting to get way worse. So you can tell where the most damage is. This is the room that came off the ground because Gary Carr, Mobile Home Service, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Here's a nice crack here. These corners are separating. Now, this is what I get to look at night when I'm laying in bed. I don't know anybody that would be happy with this. There's some big problems. And this is above the garden window. And you can see that it's separated. And it's pulling away. And there's a nice crack there. See that crack? There's where they painted some crud into the wall. There's another spot where they painted crud into the wall. This corner's also separated. There's some more. There's some in the windowsill. So, excuse me for being pissed, because anybody would be pissed. You know, we paid a lot of money for this house. We paid a lot of money for this house. And we should not have to put up with this crap. You see that? Would you like looking at that every day? Because we don't. Now, these are the double doors that head into the master bathroom. See a big gap up there? Gets smaller. It's got a nice header sag, huh? And it gets bigger over there. It's got a nice crack above it. Let's head into the bathroom, because it looks like crap in here also. Now we're heading into the bathroom. We got the same crappy job they did hiding all the cracks. You know, I wish they would have left it. Looked better with the frickin' cracks up there. and they put some kind of crud up there. Hey, I need some more ceiling texture. Hey, I've given you guys enough. Get the stuff off the floor. You know, you think that's what happened? Maybe. That looks pretty bad, huh? This is one of the sinks. See how it pulled away from the countertop? You think the sink's bent, or you think the countertop's bent? And I think it's the countertop. I must have dropped this mirror on the ground because it has damage. I mean, all this stuff adds up. And we're pretty pissed off about it, that's for sure. Here's where they damaged the floor with their step ladder. Now this is the toilet area. This is what the ceilings are supposed to look like. And as we move down to the door jamb, yeah, anything happened there? Looks like they missed. Pulled the nail out. And as we go down, yeah, they didn't pull that nail out. They just left it. Oops. Yeah, that's good enough. Leave it. So now we're going to move into the master bedroom closet. And you got the same crap going on in here with their crappy ass Clayton quality patch job. Our next video, we're going to show you the first consumer complaint inspector from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs Manufactured Housing Division. And it's pretty interesting. So stay tuned. Now we're going to head down the door jamb at the master bedroom closet. Look at that. That hinge looks okay, huh? Yeah. What the hell happened there? Oopsie. I miss it. They'll never notice. What, you think we did that? You know, we'll take lie detectors, and we'll pay for everybody else to take them also. So if they want to go that route, we'll pay for it. And that's it. So, you know, never buy a Clayton manufactured home.